So welcome guys, I hope everyone is well. So yesterday I had this poll on my Instagram story that should I be making a breakdown on IGTV for my analysis I had that day on NSE stocks. This is only meant for educational purpose and the answer which I got was awesome, was 94%. So anyway guys, without wasting any time as usual, let's get into it. So let's start with the overall analysis and whatever I had, I will be very transparent with y'all that what I had, I'll be sharing it. So this week, okay, the past week I had a couple of trades to be honest. So let's start with this first trade, which was SBI. Okay, this was an intraday trade basically. So it was nothing like fancy on this one. The only thing which I saw is the momentum is to the upside. So for that sake, I was bullish on this. So I needed one entry. Okay. And then what I saw over here is we have this overall bullish impulse to the upside, and this was a sort of correction. You can call it a bull flag. Okay. This was a kind of a bull flag. And when this broke out, I had this entry over here, and I was expecting that this will reach over there. Okay. Which was giving me a risk to reward ratio of 5.05, which is insane anyway. So I'll explain what exactly happened on this trade. So I entered over here. As prices went over there, it came down, retested that broken structure, again went up. And when prices were over here, I had my stop loss trailed exactly at this level. Okay, exactly at this level, I trailed my stop loss. And then what happened is prices came below, hit my stop loss in profit. Okay, anyway, I'm in profits, hit my stop loss in profits, and then the market closed over here, and then it again went up there, followed by this gap. So if I would have been this trade in this trade, it was a 5 hour achieved, but here I just achieved 1 hour, which was the same amount as my risk. So anyway, like just 1 hour achieved on this trade. Basically the analysis was good and the overall expectations were clean, because you see only when prices hit there it kind of reversed back down. So anyway, this was SPI. It was the first trade which I had. So let's move on to the next one, which is the Yes Bank. So what happened on this one is actually the trade management was pretty good. It was pretty clean, and this was my sort of analysis, and I will explain what exactly I had. So basically, I had this setup on me on my chart that, see, this was the thing which I was on, and I entered somewhere over here. And you know what happened? I came on the lower time frame and I saw that there is some sort of rejection reversal patterns happening. So for that sake, when I was at the top of the trade over here, I kept my stop loss at break even, and then I went to the lower time frame. And what I saw is prices were kind of reversing on me. Sorry, prices were kind of reversing on me. And also one thing which I saw that was this, that this is a trend line. Okay, and when it breaks, most likely prices are coming to the downside. And so for that sake, I just had my stop loss at break even, guys. So it just came down, hit my stop loss at break even, then I was like stopped out of this trade with no loss and no profit. That's break even. So the next trade which I had is this one. This was analysis which I had on Eicher Motors. Okay, so this was intraday trade, and I saw that this was a base formed like a support level, and this sort of formation broke to the upside, and then I had my limit over here. So when it came down, hit it, and then that's exactly what happened. The risk to reward ratio on this one was 3.85, as you can see over here. Okay, so that was achieved. So this was the trade which I had, which was the third trade, Eicher Motors. So it was a pretty clean trade. It is just the practice which your eye requires for you to understand the patterns and overall momentum which is coming. Okay, you should be able to smell the incoming momentum. So let's jump on to the next one. The next one which I had is this. Okay, this was Friday, I guess. Yeah, this was Friday now. This is Friday. So this resulted in a stop loss hit. Okay, this got the stop loss of this got hit, and then I realized that when I just go on the one hour time frame, I had one more trend line which I just kind of ignored. So this was the trend line which I should have been drawn instead of that. You know what happened? it just came up and got rejected there, and that's how it came down. So if I would have seen this, I wouldn't have been stopped out of that trade. But anyway, no lessons, sorry, no losses over here, only lessons. So we just keep up with that strong mindset and keep going ahead. Next one. So this one, same Friday. So what I had over here is I had this trend line over here, and I saw that it's kind of rejecting prices. To be honest, I had this trend line, and then I kind of entered over here. My stop loss was over here, and then I was expecting minus 27 to get hit. So trade rolled on, came up, slight drawdown, then reversed back down. I was in profits, and let's see what happens now. But I took some partial profits at this level. So if I was in this trade, I would have kept the stop loss at break even, and that's how it kind of reversed to the upside. But at the moment, seems very indecisive. And let's see what happens because we are kind of supported by this trend line, so we can't see much at the moment. Next one I would like to show is the Reliance trade which I had. Okay, so the analysis was something like this. I saw that over here I have a major level of resistance. Okay, I had a major level of resistance there. So that's what I saw. And the next thing what I saw is I'm having this trend line which is kind of supported by prices. And also like the retest of that broken support. Okay, this was the overall retest. So what happened on this one is like this. Okay, so this was the support level which you had and now turned into a resistance level. So I saw one thing that it closed back again in that range. Okay, so it came up, it got rejected by that trend line. Also, this was the support level. Okay, previously, and now it turned to a resistance level. And then I saw that it came down and closed back. Okay, again in this overall bearish territory. So that's when I had my trade, and my stop loss was just above that. So this is where I had my trade, and the stop loss was kind of like this. And then for the targets, I had the 1 hour trend line. So this was the trend line which I had, which was, let me just find. Okay, I had this trend line 1, 2, and 3. So I was assuming to take my profits at that level. So that's what happened. Okay, this is where I took my profits, and this was the overall trade which rolled out pretty nicely. So this was very insane trade. Anyway, let's focus on the next one, which is Maruti. So guys, like I had this analysis. Okay, I had this analysis. I would like to show you all that what my expectation was based on the higher time frame. If you come on the H1 time frame, sorry, if you come on the daily time frame, what you see is like the structure overall is bearish. Okay, too bearish. So we are consistently creating lower highs there, and this looks like a massive correction for the further continuation to the downside. So this was my expectation on it, that most likely if we stay below this territory that we are coming down. So I came on the H1, I saw that we had so much of bearish pressure there. And then what I did is I came on the 15-minute time frame, and I saw that there's a head and shoulder pattern being formed over here. So I entered somewhere over here, which was 2 2. Okay, I entered over here. This was my entry. This was my stop loss level, and the take profit which I had on this one is this. Okay, it was 6.11 hour. But eventually, what happened is when this sort of formation broke to the downside, I had my stop loss at break even over here. And then what prices did is it came up, hit my stop loss at break even, and I still think that it has a lot of continuation to the downside. So anyway, if I get some potential entries, I will be entering in this once again. So let's move on to the next one, which is Maruti. So guys, like this was the trade which I had on this. So I entered somewhere over here, which was the 5-minute charts. Okay, this was the entry which I had. This was the take profit which I had. This was my expectation, and I saw that this is coming downside. And when prices were over here, I had my stop loss at break even, which eventually got hit. So no profit, no loss on this one as well. The next one which I had is Z. This was a clean trade, by the way. I saw that this base is supporting prices, and then on the 15-minute time frame, I saw that this pattern looks very clean. This was my expectation on it, and that's how it came up. Like prices were over here, and I said that yo, this is going to happen, and that's how it is just playing out. And I think that most likely we are reaching there. So these were my trade, guys. Like I hope you all enjoyed the overall video, and if you all have any questions, just write me in the message section. Right. So let's stop here. Have a profitable trading journey.